All right, so today we're diving deep, into Psalm 23.
Okay.
The Lord is my shepherd, all that. We're going to be looking at a commentary by Dr. Patrick Briney
Okay.
and really kind of trying to uncover some, some deeper meanings, some things that maybe we've kind of glossed over
Right.
in the past.
Yeah, I think that's Dr. Briney's aim with this commentary,
Okay.
is to offer comfort and hope, especially in times of uncertainty.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And I think what's really cool about this is that he's able to connect this ancient text
Yeah,
to very real struggles that we face today.
that's awesome. I mean, I'm familiar with Psalm 23. So I
Right.
feel like sometimes, I just kind of read over it.
Yeah.
What was something that really jumped out at you when you were looking at Dr. Briney's commentary?
Well, he really digs into that central metaphor of God as a shepherd.
Right.
But instead of just listing like the things a shepherd does,
Uh-huh.
he focuses on this idea that God doesn't just lead us to green pastures.
Right.
He creates them
I'm up.
where there was once barrenness.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
That's super powerful. It's like you're in a tough season,
Yeah.
you're in a barren place, and he can make something beautiful out of that.
Exactly. And it's not about finding what's already there.
Right.
It's God bringing life and abundance to the most unexpected places.
Yeah. That's awesome. So we've got God as our shepherd.
Yeah.
He's leading us to these green pastures.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not necessarily about avoiding the valleys altogether. It's just knowing that he's going to be there with us when we walk through them.
Exactly. And it all kind of ties back to those green pastures.
Yeah.
He's saying the journey with God isn't always easy,
Right.
but he is constantly leading us towards a place of ultimate peace and fulfillment.
Okay, cool. And then another thing, we were talking about those green pastures and like this beautiful imagery.
Yeah.
But one of the things that always kind of, I just kind of skim over
Yeah.
is God preparing a table for us in the presence of our enemies.
That's a really striking image.
What is that about?
Well, he talks about this as not just finding a quiet spot for a meal.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bold statement about God's power and defiance.
Oh.
It's like God saying, even when you're surrounded by hostility,
Yeah.
even when you feel threatened, I'm still going to provide for you.
Okay.
My blessings aren't contingent on your circumstances.
It's a powerful image. It's like, yeah, you're surrounded by all these people who are against you, who
Right.
want to tear you down.
Totally.
But God's like, I'm going to bless you anyway.
There's like a double message of provision and protection.
Yeah.
Like God is saying, not only am I taking care of you,
Yeah.
but I'm doing it right in front of those who want to see you fail.
Mm,
So there's like this added layer of like, take that.
exactly.
I'm going to bless them even more.
God is not intimidated by our enemies,
Wow. This is
whatever form they may take.
really cool. So
Right.
we've got that imagery.
Yeah, and remember those details about the anointing with oil
Okay.
and the cup running over?
Yeah.
He connects those to the abundance of God's blessings.
Right.
This idea that he doesn't just meet our needs, he overflows them.
Yeah. He's not just going to give us a little bit.
Yeah.
He's going to
Right.
give us more than we need.
Exactly.
This is really cool. I'm starting to see why you were so interested in
Yeah.
this commentary.
And we haven't even touched on like the eternal destination
Right.
aspect of Psalm 23 yet.
Okay. Well, let's get into that.
Yeah, there's some mind-blowing stuff there.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, let's just keep going.
All right. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're talking about this incredible picture of God providing for us,
Yeah.
even when we're surrounded by, our enemies.
Yeah, it's powerful stuff.
But I'm really curious about that eternal destination aspect you mentioned.
Yeah,
Does Dr. Briney connect that to the shepherd metaphor at all?
absolutely. He talks about how Psalm 23
Okay.
isn't just about navigating the challenges of this life.
Right.
It's about the ultimate destination that God is leading us toward.
Okay.
He uses this imagery of dwelling in the house of the Lord forever
Yeah.
to kind of paint a picture of an eternal home with God.
I've heard that phrase so many times.
Dwelling in the house of the Lord forever. But I don't think I've ever really stopped and thought about what that actually means.
Yeah.
Like, what does that house look like?
Yeah. Well, he describes it as a place of perfect peace,
Okay.
safety, and fulfillment.
Okay.
A place where all of our needs are met and where all anxieties are quieted.
Wow.
He even connects this back to Revelation 21,
Okay.
which describes heaven as this place where there's no more death, sorrow, or pain.
So it's like we finally reach those green pastures.
Right.
But they never fade.
Exactly.
They're perfect and they're always there.
It's like the ultimate green pasture.
Okay, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I guess here's where I get a little bit stuck. I
Oh.
can kind of grasp the idea of God being our shepherd and guiding us through all of life's difficulties.
Hmm.
But what does it actually look like to follow him?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
But he really emphasizes this idea of choice. You know, it's not enough to just admire the beauty of Psalm 23.
Right.
We actually have to choose to make God our shepherd.
So it's not just believing in God, it's like actively choosing to follow him.
Yes, exactly.
And trust his guidance even when we don't understand where he's leading us.
Right. And that can be scary.
Yeah, it can be terrifying.
Yeah.
What if I make the wrong choice?
Well, and that's where the beauty of Psalm 23 really shines.
Okay.
It reminds us that even when we stumble or stray from the path,
Yeah.
we have a shepherd who relentlessly pursues us.
Okay.
He's constantly trying to guide us back to those green pastures.
Yeah.
You know, remember that image of the shepherd using his staff to kind of
Mhm.
gently nudge the sheep back on course?
Yeah.
That's a picture of God's patient and persistent love.
So it's okay to mess up.
Exactly. We all make mistakes.
He's going to redirect us.
He's always there to guide us back.
That's good to know. That's reassuring. But I will say this. There are times when I feel like I'm wandering in the wilderness
Right.
and I'm completely lost. I have no idea which way to go.
Well, Dr. Briney talks about the importance of paying attention to that still small voice of God.
Okay.
You know, it's not always a booming command.
Right.
Sometimes it's just a gentle whisper or a nudge in a certain direction,
Okay.
or even just a sense of peace about a particular decision.
So it's about being sensitive to God's presence.
Yes, exactly.
Learning to discern his voice amidst all the chaos of life.
That's it.
What about those times, though, when it's just silent?
Yeah.
When I don't feel any whispers, any nudges?
Well, even in those moments,
Yeah.
Dr. Briney reminds us that God is still present.
Okay.
Remember that image of the valley of the shadow of death?
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't promise to remove us from difficult situations,
Right.
but he promises to be with us when we walk through them.
Yeah, so even when we can't feel him,
Right.
he's still there.
He's still there. He's like that shepherd,
Yeah.
faithfully guarding his sheep through the darkest night.
Wow. This is, I'm starting to see how this is so much dupper than just like pretty words on a page.
It is.
This is like an actual roadmap for our lives.
It's a guide for navigating the complexities of life
Yeah.
with all of its joys and its sorrows.
Okay, so knowing all of this,
Mm-hmm.
how does Dr. Briney suggest that we apply these truths to our everyday lives?
Well, he offers a number of practical suggestions.
Okay.
But one that really resonated with me
Yeah.
was this idea of practicing the presence of God.
Okay.
It's about intentionally cultivating an awareness of God's presence
Okay.
throughout the day, not just, during designated times of prayer or worship.
Right, so it's like recognizing those God moments
Yeah.
in the ordinary, the unexpected,
Exactly.
even in the challenging stuff.
Yeah, it's about training ourselves to see God's hand at work,
Okay.
even when it's not immediately obvious.
So as we practice that, as we become more aware of his presence, then we start to notice those little nudges, the
Right.
whispers that are guiding us towards those green pastures.
Exactly. And it's like we're constantly on this journey with God,
Yeah.
not to some far-off destination,
Right.
but like through each and every moment of our lives.
Okay, cool. So we're talking about being a sheep and
Yeah,
following the shepherd.
right.
Does that affect like how we interact with the world around us?
Well, he emphasizes that following the Good Shepherd
Mm-hmm.
isn't just about personal piety.
Okay.
It's about becoming more like him
Yeah.
in our relationships with others.
So it's like reflecting his compassion, his love,
Yes.
his justice
Yes.
in the way that we treat other people.
It's about letting that shepherd's love shape
Okay.
not just our hearts,
Yeah.
but our actions, our words,
Yeah.
and our interactions with the world around us.
Okay, so this isn't just about us being comforted.
Right.
It's about us being changed
It's about transformation.
from the inside out.
Exactly.
So that we can change the world around us.
Yes, you got it.
That's really cool.
It's powerful stuff.
Yeah, this has been an incredible journey so far.
Yeah.
And I feel like we've only just scratched the surface. But we're getting close to the end of our time.
Okay.
Is there anything else from Dr. Briney's commentary that you think our listeners should know?
Well, one thing that really stood out to me
Yeah.
was his emphasis on gratitude.
Uh-huh.
He argues that recognizing God as our shepherd
Mm-hmm.
naturally leads to a heart that's just overflowing with thankfulness.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
When you realize how much he loves you and cares for you,
Right.
it's hard not to be grateful.
Exactly. But he goes a step further.
Okay.
He encourages us to practice gratitude
Okay.
in both the big and the small things.
Oh, okay.
Noticing and appreciating those everyday blessings,
Yeah.
even in the midst of challenges.
Even when things are hard.
Yeah, he even suggests keeping a gratitude journal,
Okay.
writing down specific things we're thankful for each day.
I love that. It's so easy to focus on all the negative,
It is.
but intentionally shifting our focus to the positive
Yeah.
can really change our entire perspective.
Exactly. And it's about training our minds to see the good,
Okay.
even when things are tough.
Even when we don't feel like it.
Yeah. And as we practice gratitude,
Yeah.
we start to cultivate a deeper awareness of God's presence and provision in our lives.
So it's not just about feeling grateful in the moment.
Right.
It's like a lifestyle
It's a way of life.
of thankfulness.
It's a way of seeing the world through the lens of God's goodness.
Okay. And that changes how we see everything.
It changes everything.
I love how this all connects back to that idea of God creating those green pastures where there was barrenness.
Yeah.
It's like when we practice gratitude,
Right.
we're inviting him to come in and transform our hearts and minds
You got it.
and create that space for joy and abundance,
Yeah.
even when things are hard.
It's about recognizing that even in the wilderness,
Yeah.
there's always something to be thankful for.
Right.
And as we choose to focus on those blessings, we open ourselves up to experiencing the fullness of God's provision, both now and in the future.
Okay, so this whole deep dive has been so insightful and encouraging.
Yeah, it's been a good one.
I feel like I have a whole new perspective on Psalm 23.
That's great.
And I'm really excited to keep exploring these themes in my own life.
I hope you do. I hope all of our listeners do.
Yeah, I think it's really going to change things for me.
And don't just let these words watch over you.
Yeah.
Let them seep into your heart and transform the way you see the world.
Before we wrap up, I have one final question for you.
Okay, shoot.
If you could just leave our listeners with one thought,
Okay.
one nugget of wisdom
Mhm.
from this deep dive into Psalm 23,
Right.
what would it be?
If I had to choose just one thing, I would say, choose to make God your shepherd.
Okay.
It's a choice that will transform your life
Wow.
in ways you can't even imagine.
That's a powerful message to end on.
Yeah.
And I think that really captures the heart of Psalm 23.
I think so too.
It's a call to surrender, to trust, and to experience that boundless love and provision of the Good Shepherd.
Beautifully said.
All right, well, that brings us to the end of our deep dive into Psalm 23.
Okay.
We hope you've enjoyed this journey and that it's sparked a desire in you to go deeper in your own understanding of this passage.
I think it's a passage that has a lot to offer.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We keep coming back to this idea of choice.
Yeah.
Choosing to make God our shepherd, choosing gratitude, choosing to trust, even when we don't know what's happening.
Right.
It's really empowering.
It is. It's like, Dr. Briney doesn't say, hey, there's not going to be any valleys.
Right.
There's not going to be times of darkness or doubt.
Right.
But even in those moments,
Yeah.
we get to choose.
Okay.
We have a choice how we respond.
Right.
We can choose to cling to that shepherd's staff,
Yeah.
even when we can't see the path.
I love that. And I think that's what makes Psalm 23 so powerful.
Yeah.
It's more than just a nice poem. It's more than just words that we hear in church.
It's a call to action.
Yeah, it's like an invitation to really step into a relationship with God that changes our lives.
It changes everything.
Yeah, and changes how we interact with the world around us.
And he even talks about how, that table in the presence of our enemies.
Right.
He says that all that abundance, that
Yeah.
overflow of God's blessings, it's not just for us.
Oh, okay.
It's meant to be shared.
Okay.
It's meant to be a source of strength and hope for other people who are struggling.
I'm starting to see how being a sheep
Yeah.
isn't about being weak or helpless. It's about being part of this community.
Yeah, a flock
Yeah.
that cares for each other
Right.
under the guidance of the shepherd.
That's beautiful. And I also like how, as we become more like the shepherd,
Yeah.
we attract other people to him.
Right. We become a reflection of his love.
Yeah.
And that draws people in.
Right.
It points them to the source of true peace and fulfillment.
So it's not just about me, it's about other people as well.
Exactly. It's about being part of something much bigger than ourselves.
Yeah.
Something that has the power to actually change the world.
Wow, this is incredible.
Yeah. It's powerful stuff.
So as we wrap up today, I want to challenge our listeners.
Okay.
What would it look like for you to not just read Psalm 23,
Yeah.
but to actually live it out?
That's a good question.
How can you make those words a reality
Yeah.
in your relationships,
Yeah.
your work, your community?
I think that's a question we all need to be asking ourselves.
For sure.
Because, at the end of the day, the power of Psalm 23,
Yeah.
it's not just in how pretty it sounds.
Right.
It's in its ability to change us.
Right.
to make us more like the shepherd.
And to change the world around us.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you for joining us on this journey through Psalm 23.
Yeah, it's been a good one.
We hope you've been inspired
Yeah.
and challenged to embrace that love
Right.
of the Good Shepherd and to share that love with everyone around you.
That's what it's all about.
Awesome.